Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, did you start? Did you start the recording?
I did, but it's fine. We
Okay.
either one of us can, and either one
Uh,
of us can end it.
okay. So as long as I can end it. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for being here for this last session of our economics module. It's been hugely enjoyable, incredibly interesting, and very stimulating experience for me, and I hope it's been for you too. So what I'd suggest we do is we start with a check-in and something about I don't know how you're feeling right now. And it'd be good to start gathering anything you would like to explore today, because as always, this is your space, and we're kind of happy to be guided by you as to where we go today and what we talk about. So it's been fascinating. The forum space has been incredibly busy all through the course. Which has been brilliant. I've really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed how people have interacted, and some of the some of the things that are being discussed, and maybe we'll pick up some of those threads as we go along. So I am Naresh. I'm feeling I'm feeling relaxed, and I'm feeling it's kind of a beautiful spring day here in the UK, and I am looking forward to, as always, to see where we go today and what we do. I don't have any particular agenda. There's nothing I feel I want to talk about, although the regenerative coaching, I don't know if anybody's on that that bit of the before. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that at some point. George has raised his hand. Do you want to say something right now, George, before we get started? We're just gonna go into a check-in. So
yep.
I don't know. Maybe you want to. Would you like to do that? Would you like to check in and to say hello?
Yeah, just hello. I'm okay, but I'm out of my home in. Right now I'm in Como in Italy, and I'm in retreat. So just to say that I came a little bit later because of that.
Okay, fantastic. So so I suggest whoever would like to start could start, and we'll and then pass to somebody else.
Yep.
I can just check in quickly myself. Mm-hmm. So I'm Giovanni. I'm in the East Coast of the United States, and saying before we started, first of all, hello everybody. Thank you for coming to the this last live session. It's the last few words that we hear from our facilitators and from students. So I hope it's a rich one. Yeah, so just before I came in, I was actually working in my yard doing some gardening work, filling up my pond and putting in some seedlings, because the weather is getting so that we can do that. So I'm having a very good time. And I may not stay for the whole call here, because I do have another appointment shortly. So if you see me disappear, it's not because I don't want to be with you, but because I have other things, particularly preparing for the next course, which is the Worldview. And I hope that most of you will be following us with the Worldview course as well. If you haven't registered yet, please drop me a note. And there may be some way to get a little bit of an extension to the early bird discount that we had earlier. So that's me. And I'll pass my, let me see who's near me. Hernan.
Thanks, you. Hi, everyone. This is Hernan from London again. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very satisfied with the course. I really enjoy it. Thanks for all the facilitators and the rest of the students. Particularly, many of them have been posting a lot of thoughts and resources and so forth in the forums, which I found very, very useful. I've registered already for the next one. I hope to see other people there as well. This was my first dimension, and yeah, I'm looking forward to keep learning I think initially for me the path will be to try to help in other projects that are already going on or that may be starting. I'm also interested to see what other students from Gaia have been doing. I know there's a few examples on the course materials. I'll be reading that a bit further now. And yeah, I hope to enjoy this session as well. And I'll pass it to Martina.
Thank you, Hanan. I'm calling from Italy today as well. And I have had a very nice day today, taking a walk to a little initiative, a meeting between a Montessori kindergarten and a permaculture garden. So that was very nice. And I'm sitting here relaxed and happy today. And I'm actually quite excited to be here with you today because I have quite a few things that I would like to share with you. But maybe I will do that at some later point and not now in the check-in, so everybody gets a chance to do their check-in. But it has to do with a meeting that we had on Thursday between a few of us, talking about what we could do and move together. And yeah, I have a request for that group. And a few other things that have been touching me the last days that I would like to share. So I would like to pass on to Jaime.
Hey, thanks, Martina. Hi, I'm feeling very good with this, the ending of my first course at Gaia. It has been a great experience for me. I feel that it's just the beginning of a journey, a new journey at my life. Things are happening, and it's very interesting how the universe, how life helps us to when we are trying to seek or pursue some new some new way of life, some new endeavors, you know, and things are happening. Maybe I will later on, I can exchange with that with you too. Great material, many new concepts for me on macroeconomics, on solutions that we can apply on the local level, on our personal lives. So very rich. I'm very excited to move on. Because I believe that on ecological, worldview, social, for instance, this would be richer and richer for myself. So I'm very glad to be here with you, completing this phase. Well, Andre, please. Here we have Andre.
I heard my name.
Yeah, we were asking you to check in.
Sorry,
Jamie is asking you to check in.
My dog needed out, so that's why.
Sorry for that, Andrea. I did not realize you are not there.
No problem. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm a bit late. My weekends are tend to be quite busy, and but yeah, great. As Jamie said, it is a real accomplishment to get through this course because the concepts and the material was incredible. The other courses have a lot more writing to do in the assessment, and this one had multiple choice questions. So I'm not complaining about that at the moment, but if you go into that direction, it would have been even deeper because the material, you know, there's so much, and I just wanted to jump in and just spend hours and hours researching and looking into everything, and so many ideas gets into your head, and I've done the other dimensions, and things are sort of coming together for me at this stage. So yes, for the rest of for those who haven't done the other modules, you're in for this much the same ride, different directions, and really in like an explosion of your mind, So yeah, persisted. It's really been quite a ride, and I'm looking forward to the design studio with Giovanni. So that will be the next step. Okay, I'll pass on to Iona. Have you had a chance? Okay, Iona.
Hello. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm pretty relaxed. I've been getting ready for going to Glastonbury tomorrow to volunteer at the Chalice Well for a week, and so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I feel, especially this last module, I think it's really rounded it up really well. Just what we've been doing this for the last 2 months, and can't believe it's been 2 months. But yeah, and I really the things that we that was mentioned to do with all the different like shares and ways of finance, and even though I've kind of touched on those things before, it was much more, obviously it was a lot more sustainably related, which is great, and so it will help me, I feel, to carry on and do more research into it to make my proposals for different sort of ideas that I've had. So no, it's been really useful, so thank you for the content. And yeah, no, I'm looking forward to trying to this is my second dimension, yeah, I'm doing, and then I'm going on to the next one, so I'm looking forward to trying to put all of them together and seeing how I can configure all the information and design think of designs for the design studio and further. So no, really excited. I'll pass it on to who's next? I can't see who's next. Is Nadia gone?
Nadia's good.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Nadia. I'm currently in the southwest of England, and unfortunately I've actually not had very good past few weeks for various personal reasons, so I haven't been able to engage as much in the module material and in the forum and everything as I would have liked to, but I'm still trying to make an effort not to miss the live calls, because this is kind of the highlight of my week, actually, because the last call we had in the group session was very exciting, very encouraging. Although we didn't reach anything, it's still motivating to meet people who have similar vision. Sometimes in my personal life, I feel like I a bit of despair looking around. So it's good to have this community, even if it's only an online community and we don't really meet for real. So I'm quite excited about that. Unfortunately, I haven't really got deep into the material of the last 2 modules, but I wanted to say that prior to starting the economic dimension, I was apprehending it. And before that, I've never had any interest in economics. And I had no knowledge of it either. But through the weeks, I've actually found it quite interesting, and I'm a bit sad the dimension is ending. I would like to carry on and learn much, much, much more, because I only have to learn about economics. So I'll see how that goes. Maybe the next dimension will link it together, and in the design studio as well. But I just wanted to say the facilitator and Gaia Education in general have done a great job to have got me interested in something that the whole of my life I've been trying to stay away from. So thanks for that. And I'll pass on to Daria.
Yeah, hi. Unfortunately, my video is not working, but can you hear me? I hope.
Yes, fine.
I'm checking in to say that the things that happened for me in the last few weeks is mad planting of our veggies outside. We've had from snow a month ago to now 25 degrees yesterday. So I'm basically from 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night outside. My back is sore, but things are growing really well, so I'm very happy about that. I really enjoyed the readings, although I haven't been able to read it all. But the little glimpses I get when I get a chance to read is encouraging to see that I am making good choices in my life at the moment. And I have struggled to, I share this in one of my reflections, to carry on, it seems to me, a bit of a split life between what I really want to do and the things that I need to do in order to pay for what I want to do. And so last week I decided my relationship with one of my employer wasn't going very well, and I thought, I really don't need this, so I gave up a contract that was quite a bit of money, but it felt good. So that's my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe Natasha is hasn't checked in yet. Would you like to go, Natasha?
Hello to everyone. I keep my video off because my connection is not stable. I'm feeling nice. It's like the May was very busy from the beginning of April until now, and we keep on going into the summer season on the islands. But today I had a nice day, and I'm feeling very happy that I met you all. It's like at the beginning of the economic dimension, I had a really negative point of view over the economy. And after 2 months, I start changing my mind because I see there are options and possibilities that we can create and make. I mean, even now, I feel the material is too much that we are learning, but I mean, there are options. So we are able to create a different system in a different way of organization. I would like to hear what the other people are proposing about coaching or about the meeting that they have. I don't have a particular topic to talk about. And I give you back, Naris.
Okay. George, do you want to say anything before I do a quick recap of Module 5?
Yes, just I'm glad to listen these messages from the students, because through the reflections and the activities, it's possible to feel that you are really engaged and doing the. I feel the best of this course is about applying the concepts, and also about this meeting last Thursday. I have great hope about your initiative. I hope to be in touch with this initiative. And from now, it's just this, Naresh, my connection is not also so good, but I'm here. I will turn off my video, and then just that I'm really happy to be with you in this journey and in some way support you in this learning process. Thank you for your efforts.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll do a quick recap of what's the content of Module 5. So Module 5 is really all about the practical considerations of setting up community initiatives, cooperatives, social enterprises and things like that, and really looks at some of the things we have to pay attention to in order to be effective, particularly the legal and financial issues, which will determine to some extent the legal form of the organization. So some of the important elements of this module, it looks at the need for safeguarding the global commons, the common things that we all need in order to live, to explore the importance of the open source approach and how that seems to be something that's emerging as an important aspect of regenerative enterprises. The implications of the near zero marginal cost society. If anybody followed the, what's his name, Rifkin's arguments about zero marginal cost society, which I personally, I'm not totally convinced about, but, and it ends with a fundamental legal reform that is underway globally that will give nature legal standing and rights. All businesses, whatever format they are, need to focus on and need to pay attention to certain areas. First and foremost probably is delivering the highest possible quality of service at the lowest practical cost. And that's something that every business needs to pay attention to. It needs to not trade at a loss, so it needs to make a profit. As business grows, different skills will be required. So it's one thing to start a business, it's another thing to take it up to the different steps as the business grows. Different skills and different ways of operating that business are going to be needed, and that's an important and difficult thing to take on board with a business. It's it becomes a very different enterprise. Some of the ways that was suggested in the module was about how to pay attention to and kind of look at all the elements of setting up a business or enterprise was this business canvas model. The strongly sustainable business model canvas got quite a lot of stick, quite rightly so, I think, for its poor visual formatting, but it was superseded by the flourishing business model canvas, which I've tried to research to find out a bit more about it and to see if they've updated some of the poor formatting that was on the strongly sustainable business model canvas, but I haven't had anything back from them yet, so I don't know what's happening with it. But I think this, triple layered business model canvas, the C plan, the business model innovation grid. I mean, these are all they're really, I think they're quite interesting ways of looking at business and noticing that there are certain categories of practices, certain things that that every business needs, and that you need to really think about all those. And if you don't, then it's quite likely your business will fail. And if you do, and you pay attention to them, it's quite likely your business will do well. Some of the other things that we examined was funding, how to fund an enterprise, the types of funding, the sources of funding, and some of the key issues related to funding about risk-adjusted return on capital ratio, the collateral, and which will determine how much people will lend you, the gearing of the share capital and loans, and also the issues around control, control of the business, and what happens when you bring investors in, and then the question about fair returns, which I think particularly if you're looking at creating a regenerative business, it's important to think about, what are fair returns rather than just maximizing profit. And then it looks at some of the choice of legal structures that are fairly generic, I'd say, probably around the world. There's the sole trader, which is the individual operating without any kind of formal structure. There's a limited company, private company limited by guarantee, partnerships, limited liability partnerships, cooperatives, or a charitable organization. And to the extent that your business will what you want to do, how you raise funds, and the kind of aims of the business will probably determine what sort of legal structure you take. And it's important, I think, to pay attention to that, because if you choose the right legal structure, it'll support your business. If you choose the wrong one, then you're going to always be butting up against the limitations and the difficulties of operating in that way. And then it goes on to look at cooperatives and a cooperative structure, which a lot of regenerative businesses would probably choose. Look at the practices of commoning and how to work with common resources. The work of Elinor Ostrom, who's the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Economics. She spent her life working on the economics of collaboration rather than competition. Then it looks at the open source movement, the work of Robert David Steele, who's a rather crazy guy, interesting, crazy, and really good fun. And then looks like the kind of open source everything, which is about being able to share knowledge and information, which I think is an important part of regenerative business. And Jeremy Rifkin's Zero Marginal Cost Society, which, like I said, I'm a bit dubious about. But I think both examples of the open source everything and Zero Marginal Cost Society are efforts at creating collaboration and building a regenerative culture. And I think those two things are really seem to be important elements of that. And then the module ends with some of the legal structures that are needed to give nature or the earth rights, and that our current legal systems respecting and enforcing the rights of nature could be one of the most transformative and highly levered actions that humanity could take to create a sustainable culture. So anyway, so there's a little, a brief overview of the material in this module. So I open the floor to whoever would like to take us in any particular direction. Martina, I heard you say something about the regenerative coaching meeting that happened on Thursday, and I heard some other people express interest in that. So maybe we should start with that, if you're good with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to start.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it actually is connected with the meeting on Thursday that started with this idea by Keith about the regenerative coaching. And what we did when we met up in the meeting, I think we were about 15, 20 people, something like that, quite a big group. We did a check-in, just trying to see what the ideas and dreams of everybody regarding to that idea that Keith brought could be, and what we would like to work on together. And the picture that came out of that was a quite diversified picture of what people would like to do and also felt they could do. So from projects or ideas working like creating a learning center, a physical learning center somewhere, to working in digital way or online way, to working in the global north, from working to the global south, in nature, in urban settings. So there was a lot of different ideas, which gave me a little bit the idea it will be difficult to find one specific thing that we would like to do all together. But what I thought could grow out of this is a kind of community that can empower, so that we can empower each other with helping to realize and make these dreams and projects come true. And even also for some of the projects, maybe form working groups. And while I was thinking through this, I had this example in my mind from my my reality right now. That is that I would like to support an EDE that is planned in Gambia at the moment by people that I know from travels I have done before. And I did not have a clear idea how this this help could look like. And what happened right after the meeting that we had, where I was thinking about this and thinking also how could the group give support and with this make experiences that then again can be used in consultancy and coaching or support for other projects. I had an email from another fellow student that is not here now, from Morgana from Brazil, who asked me about this EDE in Gambia because she had heard me speak about that before, and she was interested in joining the two but could not find any information about it. So I contacted the person coordinating this in Gambia, and he actually told me that they are still not sure how this EDE will look, because the full EDE might be too long for some people that are interested in joining but cannot leave their working places and homes for such a long period. 4 weeks normally this lasts. And also because they feel it is a lot of work to do and to organize, because they are also organizing the Gen Africa conference that will be held in the same place in November. And so my thought was, okay, but I would like to do this EDE in Gambia, and I would like to have it as a full EDE that will bring me towards the training certificate for Gaia. So my thought was, what could we as a group studying exactly these things do to support the people in Gambia that want to organize this EDE and feel overwhelmed with the organization and the funding and everything? So I actually told Simon, he is the coordinator in Gambia of this project, that I am sure if I ask my Gaia community if they are willing to make a small working group that could help making a concept that for that EDE, it could be easier for them to make it happen. And he was very happy about me saying that. And he will speak with the coordinators and the group organizing this EDE on Monday and come back to me with maybe ideas or yeah. So the question that I want to share with you and everybody who is here, but especially maybe also the group that we were speaking with, is if something like this could be interesting, that we could join forces for small projects even like this towards also the training experience that some of us want to do, so that we can give support in making a concept for this EDE for this specific purpose in Gambia. It will be funding, it will be contents, it will be thinking about how could this EDE be made maybe modular, so that those people who need it for the certification can get the full EDE and others can maybe just join for a couple of weeks or something like that. So it's a very concrete project that could give us a lot of experience, I think, that then could be used again in other projects. So this is one of these things that I felt so interesting, that we were speaking very theoretically about this in our meeting on Thursday, and then in a couple of days things get so concrete because people start calling and asking for information, and within 2 days we would have a concrete project to work on. So yeah, Jaime?
Yeah, no, I was hearing you, and I became in doubt about what is the role of Gaia with these EDEs. As you know, I am new on the whole process, and I thought the EDE is something that is very linked with the supervision or coordination and contents, you know, that Gaia would be ahead of that on even if it is in Canada, in Findhorn, in a eco-village in Brazil, and so on, in Africa. I don't know if Naresh or Gio can. Gio is not with us anymore. I don't know if you can help with that.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe George, you might have something to say. I don't know any. I mean, obviously, Gaia has been. I mean, the purpose of an EDE is to help people with eco-village design, and it's a kind of whole eco-village design, a holistic course, and it usually takes place in a physical place. Although this is a kind of online version of it. Obviously Gaia has a lot of experience putting on EDEs all around the world, and there would be quite a lot of resource there to help shape and frame and determine the structure and the financial structure and the physical structure and all that kind of thing. So I would suggest you get in touch with Gio, who could help you or point you to the right people to enable you to do that. But George, you might have something more to say. Oh,
Giovanni is
okay.
there.
Gio, you're still here too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening, but I have another meeting going on, so I needed to kind of put that one on hold for a minute. So Jaime, your question was about how to organize an EDE. Is that correct?
Sorry, I was on mute. Was that question is, so when we decided to got an immersion on an EDE in Brazil, in Canada, in Findhorn, in Africa, at some place, at some country, in United States, in Mexico, Gaia has something with the contents, with the shape, or with the whole form of the EDE as a major process, like we have with the economic design, economic dimension, ecological, and so on. It is something very formalized, let's say.
Yeah, so I put a link in the chat where you can see, that'll take you to the page that lists the EDEs that are scheduled at the moment. But also in that page, you will find a document for how to organize an EDE. And what Gaia Education does, actually, we just support by giving you certification. So we review the EDE plan, the curriculum, the schedule, the facilitators. We review all that. And then we can say, okay, this one is approved by Gaia Education. Go ahead, use our logo. If it's not, we try to help you to get it there. So that's how Gaia Education gets involved. We don't actually organize EDEs ourselves. We only certify the EDEs that other sites around the world are organizing. Yeah, we certify them. So I think maybe in that link you will see probably a lot more information. And if you have more questions, you can certainly write to us. Yeah.
Okay. No, so I believe, Martina, that we can, going back to Gambia, needs, maybe this is the beginning, yeah? Getting back to what Gaia can provide and help and support in order to have this, I understand that they want content and how to really, organize this as a framework of knowledge and experience that can be included in this EDE process. It's a point of the beginning at my view.
Arvind, you want to speak?
Yeah, I had a question maybe to Gio or you, Naresh, and in these courses that you may review, let's say, and maybe help in order to to be to the standard to get a certificate, do you require that like certified trainers are on the site and leading the course, or is that open?
Yeah, basically what we want to see is that the trainers who are in the course are qualified, you know, that they have a good background, that they know what their stuff, that they are teachers, that they have some experience teaching already before. We do have a list of certified trainers that we're moving towards requiring that at least one trainer be from that list. But that's not, I don't think that's a requirement yet. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But basically what we want to do is some quality control so that we are satisfied that the course is following the curriculum that Gaia Education puts out, and that it's done in a way that is harmonious with our philosophy, basically. Yeah. But you can find more information, and I'm not the person that handles certification. There is somebody else who does that. I know a bit about it, but you can probably find a lot of that information in that link that I put there, and in the let me see, there is a document in that link. Hold on, let me see if I'll put that. Yeah, I'll put that link also there.
Okay.
So those are the two links that you probably give you probably enough information so that your answers, your questions can be answered.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions or would like to comment on Martina and the regenerative coaching question, or specifically this question about supporting an EDE in Gambia? Yes, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, I'm just coming back again to what we achieved on Thursday, because it was you, Iona, that put us on Slack. Yeah, so we've already got another platform that Iona put us on called Slack, which is basically just a social sort of communication system. So that project can go on informally in the background. So there's an opportunity there to grow Slack and get more people on there and discuss this EDE thing maybe as a first step. And then there's my project. I've got 17 of your 17,000 students you say you have globally. I would like to have more for my project, but that's a great start, because I will, anybody that wants to join must just send me an email. I'm going to put my email address there. Just for phase 1, I've already started building the site, and I hope with Geo that we will actually develop this a lot, and hope to attract some people that will join it as developers, which will help a lot. And this project can also be mooted because I'm going global with the site, and I would like to attract as many students or past students or Gaia staff or any other parties that Gaia approves into the system, which is a closed system. And from there, I'm pretty sure you're going to find people that have contacts, and contacts who have contacts that can basically get involved with these projects. And then when the project starts, I can create their own little online area of discussion. They can privatize it if they want to, and a whole host of other things. I think we also spoke last time about how to create a bit of income, because that's a lot of students struggle with that concept. And I said it then that, you know, if your basic needs are satisfied, then you will be more inclined to get into these projects much faster, quicker, and more comfortably. And there's a lot of ways to do that, and that's another section that can be done that I will be focusing on, particularly because I've done this with people virtually making things on the street and selling it on eBay, you know, and exchange rate leverage and so on. We turned quite a nice profit for these kind of people. So there's ways to overcome that, and I would like to focus on that, because that is something I've done for a lot of people in my life, is to help them start up some kind of a side business, just so you have the basics. And once you've got the basics, it's amazing what happens after that, because then you put your full energy, and it's more than energy. it's an attraction. It's a holistic concept. I'm sure you all will identify with this kind of thing, where you attract what you need, and you also attract what others need, because you are with them in a spiritual way, you know, in a worldwide kind of way, and it just happens. I mean, I've experienced this throughout my life. If you really need it and others are with you, it sort of just, I don't know, it just happens. But you have to have a basis of security to start off with. You know, it's not just financial security, but also mental security, support. You know, a shoulder to lean on, those kind of things. And I really would like to achieve this with this particular project of mine. Okay, so I think the other project that's the most people I've seen in a conference. I don't know, and so that was very well done, and I like the Slack idea. The Slack idea keeps the dynamics going.
I think George wants to say something because he needs to go in a few minutes.
Yes, just to apologize and to say a goodbye for our students, our friends, because right now I'm in Como, in North Italy, living for 4 days with the refugees, with no money, just learning how to do in a new economics in a practical way. But I want to say goodbye and to thank you, and I will be in touch with you mainly through this new project. And I take notes here in order to remember you that you are doing big steps to be designers. So, and the best way to learn about design is doing and living and learning the concepts, and also being generous with your knowledge, your experience, and exchange with people. Yeah, I hope to be in touch with you. And sadly, I have a limitation in my connection time here. Thanks, Naresh, for holding the meeting. And yeah, tomorrow I will be at home, and then I will restart my connection with you. Thanks a lot for your effort, your dedication, and your contribution. I will be in touch with you. Thanks, Naresh. Thanks, Gio.
Hi, Georgie.
Bye.
Thanks.
So, do you, I see you've just written something, Martina. Is there something specifically you want? I heard you say from this group whether we could join forces and to help create the concept of the EDE. Is there anything else you want from this group now at this point, or should I throw this open to other people to share or explore something else?
Yeah, no, I think Andres' suggestion to let this go on Slack as a possible first little project that we can contemplate on together is a good idea, I think. So everybody who is interested in that can join the Slack link that Iona posted so that we can keep in touch even if this dimension finishes, and then just see what can grow out of this. I think this will be very good.
Okay.
So thank you so much for the space that I could use.
Great. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? We've got about another 10 minutes. Anybody else want to make a bid for some time to for some support or help or some questions? Because this is a fantastic opportunity to check in with people from really diverse backgrounds and very diverse ways of thinking, which can only strengthen and help you in your projects and ideas. So I see, Andre, did you like to say something? And I see Iona wants to say something
yes,
too.
Quickly, I'm just doing an ad break here for my project. If somebody, if people are going into the next dimension, could just mention it. I'll send everybody an email quite soon about the contents and how the whole thing works, and just post it on in the next for the next dimension, because I've finished that one, and I would like to target still for at least 50 students for the first phase. Add over. I can't sing, so no jingle.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Iona, over to you.
Hi, yeah, no, I was just wondering, while we have everyone together like this for the last time, we're all kind of here for different reasons and interested in, there's some similarities, some not similarities. But is there, where you all are, do you feel like there's any project specifically maybe that's a bit more, let's say, directed, it could be in any area, but with this, the things that we're learning in the economics section at the moment, do you feel that anyone is taking on this initiative seriously? Because there are obviously, it's a difficult route to take because of the, well, multiple complications of going in a sustainable route because of multiple people not wanting to in a way support it, and like, you know, having to bash through doors that maybe would be a bit difficult. But is there anything that you feel, other than all the stuff that we've been sharing on the forum and then on especially this recent module with the, you know, the cooperatives and whatever, do you feel there's anything in your areas that you really do that are really trying to make something different with their structure and with what they're trying to achieve? Yeah, and if so, please let me know what they are. That would be amazing. Just because I'm interested to see what is making that impact and what is trying to go that extra mile to be green and to regenerate. And also, if I could add, what was I saying? Okay, don't worry, I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can answer some of what you're asking for. I think this dimension has highlighted not just the problems. I mean, it starts with the problems of our current economic system, but it gives many examples of very concrete projects and ideas and businesses people have set up that are basically challenging the economic paradigm we're living in and pushing the boundaries, creating new ways of doing business that are regenerative. And there are a number of, I mean, there's it's so many that it's hard to even begin to list them. If you want to do some research and you start to look at, I mean, there are, I don't know how many, there must be hundreds of community supported agriculture schemes in the UK alone, let alone across the rest of Europe. There are I think in the thousands of community energy companies that are generating energy. There are people who are setting up remake and rebuild. I know I'm working with a woman at the moment who's wanting to completely break the paradigm of housing. And she's setting up she's creating these pods and wanting to set up communities of ecopods. I mean, there's so many things that people are doing.
Can I just quickly jump in?
Sure.
Just the no, I do know, because I'm always looking up this sort of stuff, and it's more that, like, I was talking to someone about this the other day, because obviously it was cooperatives were brought into the module, and it was more that, for example, using that as an example, as co-op, the word and that was established a long time ago, and it hasn't seemed to really, it's been established, but it's not really made a significant impact, let's say, in really changing things. So it's more like, is there anything you feel that's standing out at the moment that you do see more of a possibility for it to expand more and for it to develop more into to build, for it to have more, I don't know, to carry on and to succeed, to make a real big, or to hopefully make a bigger effect than other people?
Okay, Andre wants to say something, but just one thing that I would say is that the cooperative movement has made a huge difference worldwide. It's estimated something like 10% of the US working population is employed by cooperatives. I mean, that's a huge number, and it's made a huge difference to many people's lives. And there's also countless cooperatives in Europe and in other parts of the world. So I think that's made it's scaled up. It's made a huge difference, and there's huge potential for growth in that area. Andre, did you want to say something?
Yeah, no, look, it's amazing. This year, I think Britain has now gone 1 week without having to use any other coal reserves on renewables. Okay, so 1 week without using any other energy matter than renewables shows that the companies are playing the game, everybody's playing the game. I'm coming across, I do the research on the companies because, you know, that is my interest, is to hit the companies on a consultancy basis. And it's amazing how these guys are adopting a lot of what we were talking about and more. They are probably going to start be a driving force now for whatever reason, because it's not always noble. Let's be very clear about that. But it's giving it impetus, and I'm finding an amazing amount, and it's moving quite fast. We've seen an explosion in the solar energy side, and we're finding oil companies are actually switching their customers to renewables. Shell did that in Britain, for example. They switched over 700,000 of their customers to renewables. But they're not stupid. They know where the next business module is lying. So sure, they're doing it for business, and not for all the right reasons, but we can feed off that. And this is what I would like to do. I'd like to get into on these companies while they're now making these changes for marketing or for good purposes. There are some good companies, and get in there and actually get the message across that there is other things involved and advantages for them if they do it correctly. But the dynamics on the company sides are getting big, and therefore the dynamics on the government sides are getting big as well, because the companies and the governments usually go in together. But yes, it is exploiting a alternative market right now with a lot of companies. But again, the money is there, the dynamism is there, the size, the scaling up of it is all there. And so I think Gaia's spot on, because there's going to be a lot of students that would like to get hold of this kind of information and to take an interest in what is actually happening on the ground. For purely company motives maybe, but also for social projects or companies. They're feeling the heat on that aspect as well, etc., etc. So I'm quite excited. I think we're seeing a turnaround coming, and so the next 2 or 3 years will tell.
Okay. So Iona, you asked me privately about, do you mind if I share that with the rest of the group? Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Most people don't have access to these resources and aren't looking at this. What I see is this huge explosion of experimentation across the economic sphere, and that's something I don't have an answer to. There is an extraordinary amount of innovation going on in all sorts of ways across our society, not only in economics, but in many other areas as well. And most of it is hidden. It's this, it's under the radar. It's not very visible. Sometimes it takes something like the Extinction Rebellion to put things like climate change on the map. It's something that a lot of people are thinking about now, and it takes that kind of level of demonstration for people to get out on the streets. I just wrote a blog post. It's up on I'll send a link in the forum over the next couple of days. But I just wrote a blog post about that and how suddenly ideas that have been hidden suddenly become visible to more people. And it's an interesting process that we go through in a society, that the kind of way of doing things, the normal way of doing things, becomes suddenly superseded, but often that sudden movement is the result of years and years and years of people doing this work in the background that nobody notices, and suddenly it becomes relevant and it kind of explodes on the scene. So I don't know. I mean, it's just how I see it happening. Jamie.
So just to add that I believe on the first day meeting that we had, most of us want really to support this need of enlarging the audience, you know, about those things on personal side and on organization, and that is the question that we were doing within each other, you know, how we can do that. In my perspective, I choose to join Gaia certification and the process of certification. Based on that, I would like to change on a personal level, but help with this too, because we have an urgency to explode the bubble, you know. It's like a bubble that it's everything very rich that you are saying, Naresh, is inside that, and we have to help to really transform this on a bigger message for everybody.
So we're it's 8 o'clock. We probably should be drawing this call to a close. But I'd like to give everyone the last chance to say something, to check out, to I don't know, whatever last words you have for us as a group. The floor is open. So again, if somebody would like to start and then pass on to someone else, and we can all do a little checkout.
Okay, I'll start and say thank you very much, Naresh and Gaia and everybody involved in this particular module. It's, yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. I think I wrote it several times in my reflection. This this module is actually worthy of a course, with the amount of information that is, you know, to deepen up things and to understand the economic section. So it would be fantastic if Gaia could flesh this out in a course and then pull in some of the other dimensions into it, but mainly then, you know, focus on the economics, because that is the sort of crux of it. And well done. I mean, it's just well done again. You know, I've enjoyed every single module, and this particular one is a tough one, but I tell you what, how you got to write it so concisely, I don't know. That takes a lot of expertise, because it's such a while. So thank you very much for that. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And you'll pass on to
Jamie.
So again, thanks a lot for the experience. Thanks Dio, Naresh, George, all the group of Gaia. I loved this group and the ideas that we have exchanged on the forum. Someone has mentioned that on other dimensions, they did not have so much movement on the forum. I don't know. It's my first experience, and that was very, very rich, let's say. So I'm very excited, and thanks everybody. Hopefully to be in contact with you. I will join the Gaia Ed network that Andre is leading, and maybe we can do something together ahead, hopefully. Thank you. Martina, please.
Yes, I'd also like to say thank you. It has been really rich, as other people already said. And I think the most beautiful thing that I felt very strongly in this dimension is really this motivation to do something together, and to really go out of this course with a community that can last after we finish, with people who like to share and grow their knowledge and experience and support each other with different projects they want to do in the world. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I really hope we will manage to stay in touch. I will also be on the next dimension again. So see all of you again when of those who will be there. And yeah, hope to see all the others on Slack for now. Good, thank you so much. And I'll pass on to Iona.
Hi. Yeah, it's been a really, I've only, obviously I said I've only done the ecological one, but, and it was quite active there, but this one's definitely been way more, way more active. It's really great, as economics has never been something that I have really focused on, and it's interesting to be, all these subjects be brought into my focus, and to make sure that they are in the loop of what I have to consider when doing all my future projects. And I hope that, yeah, I really do hope that we stay in contact, because like it's just incredible of how all of you are just so, you know, giving and generous, and it's just it's so lovely to be a part of a network that's like that, because it really is rare, I feel. And just the way that all of you, yeah, all the way that you just are, it's just so sweet. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one, and to speak to you or whoever's on the next one more. And yeah, I really do hope we can all stay connected, and hopefully through the Slack network that I made, and then when Andre makes his, we'll just kind of move through. And yeah, no, really looking forward to seeing who works together, and yeah, how we can do future projects. So thank you. I'll pass on to Hernan.
Thanks, Iona. Well, thanks again, everyone. Gio, Naresh, and George, not just for the course, but also for like leading as examples that all this we're learning actually can happen, and we can have a different life. I think it's very it's great to actually see live examples of this. And again, to all the students, I really enjoy the participations of everyone. I really wish that we keep in touch. I think having a support could make a big difference in future projects. Martina, I would be very, very happy to help in any way I can in your idea. And I also hope to see other ones in the next month. And Nadia, can you hear us?
Yeah. I want to say, for those whose this is the first dimension and you enjoy the interaction, I think you will like the one in the social dimension a lot. It is the one I started with, and it helped me open myself, not be shy about expressing my thoughts, my worries, being wrong in the forum, taking back critical feedback. And this, although before taking the economic dimension, I thought social and economics were two different worlds apart, they're actually very related. The last module is teaching us about cooperatives and how to start businesses, and all of this requires cooperation, communication, and everything. So I like how everything kind of links together. And as I said before, this is a new discovery for me about how interesting economics can be, and more importantly, how relevant it is. I joined Gaia mostly for the ecological dimension, because that's closer to my background, so I felt more comfortable there. But I realized we can't be in isolation. I can't possibly just learn more or work more in relation to ecology topic without knowing how it interferes with the rest of the world. And the world, whether I like it or not, is governed by economics. So it's important for me to know how that works, to know how to reach to people in those terms. So I also agree with what Andre says. I think this dimension definitely needs to be a bigger course, but I think, and unlike the other dimension, for example, ecology, there are hundreds of other courses, either on green building or permaculture or all sorts of things. The economics, people join economics, traditional economics course without necessarily caring for sustainability. And I think this is where we can actually have an impact indirectly. You can reach people taking economics courses and teach them about sustainable economics, sustainable businesses, without them necessarily wanting to choose a sustainable course. So I think there's a perspective there. Anyway, I keep hope, and I'd like to thank everyone for their contribution, and the organizers, obviously. I look forward to meeting you again in the next dimension. Thanks. And I'll pass it on to Natasha. I think she hasn't spoken yet.
Hello everyone. I would like also to say thank you for the course. The material is very rich and is really expanding the knowledge of everybody for the economy and how we can build like sustainable projects. I would like to be in the team that is going to work for the Gambia EDE. So I already be in this Slack group, and I look forward to see you in the next dimension.
And you're going to pass to Daria?
Yes, to Daria.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. I just put a little write-up to thank Naresh and everyone. It's very inspiring because I participate in the discussion with you, and then I practice sharing with our community, and we get a whole other discussion going on in parallel. So it feels really a good kind of guide, and I am the mediator between these two groups. So it makes our discussions in our community much richer to have Gaia on the side helping us through our choices. And it's been like that for all the dimensions I've taken so far. Yeah, so I am also registered in the next worldview, and I'll join it, but I've already taken it, so I may just audit it and participate on a marginal level, and then I'll do the design course. And I love how we can see you in the next dimension. Bye, everyone.
Yes, I love that too. It conjures up kind of some idea of that we're going to enter into the sort of, I don't know.
I wonder if they even thought of, because I always thought it sounds strange how we say dimension, but now that we can say, I see you in the next dimension, it's perfect. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's great. Yeah. Well, I won't see you in the next dimension. I won't be part of the course. I'm not facilitating, but I wish you well, and I'm sure it'll be a brilliant course, and you'll have brilliant facilitators. You've been a great group to work with. I've really appreciated the enthusiasm. I've appreciated so much input you've put in, and so much passion, and also just the level of disclosure that I've seen on the forum, that people are willing to speak about some things that maybe they've never spoken to people before about, and share some of their deepest yearnings and longings and wishes. Because for me, that's what this work is all about. This is about us reaching for our deep longing and reaching for things that we dream of but don't have yet, and to have the willingness and the sense of purpose and ambition to achieve those things. I really hope that that's come across, and I feel very touched. So I wish you all well. Please finish off your reflections and quizzes, because that would be great to I mean, if you want a certificate. I usually keep the Dimension open for another week or 10 days till, you know, because today is officially the end, but I keep it open for some time to enable people to finish up, because I know we're all leading busy lives and you can't necessarily get to it in the time. But oh yeah, there we go, you've got your completion certificate, great. But yeah, so yeah, do that. Like I said, there's I'll post my blog post up on the forum in the next couple of days, and I'm busy dreaming some new courses that have come out of some of the discussions and ideas that we've had on this training. So maybe I'll see you on the next one. So go well, and I hope to see you in person somewhere, sometime. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And I want to also just, Naresh, I want to just comment on what a great facilitator you've been, and how dynamic you make these live sessions. So thank you very much. And thank you all for being so committed to these courses and to learning. Thank you for enriching really the content of the course. Economy can be, I find it kind of contradictory, you know, because we have this tension between impact and profit in business. So, but business, as I understand it, is not only about profit. The impact is really probably first, although we don't normally see it that way. And that's what we're trying to do with these courses, is put impact first, because what we want to do is create change. So thank you, everybody. I hope to see most of you in the Worldview Dimension, and some of you I already have seen there. So those will probably see you again in the design studio. Very exciting. There we'll put everything together and see what magic we can create. So be well. Take care.
Bye-bye.